Okay, before we start, I just want it on record. I did sleep last night.
That's a lie. Browns fans don't sleep. We just stare at the ceiling and replay 3rd and 7.
I woke up mad at a coach who doesn't even know my name.
Kevin Stefanski woke up like, I think I'll ruin Rich's week again.
Every Sunday, Nate. Every single Sunday, I tell myself this time will be different.
Every Sunday the Browns say, that's cute.
We don't lose games. We experience them.
It's not a loss. It's a 3-hour emotional escape room.
You ever notice the Browns don't just break your heart? They make you feel dumb for having it in the first place.
Well, you saw a good first drive? Idiot.
Up 10-0, fraud.
Winning at halftime? Red flag.
The most dangerous lead in football is a Browns lead.
I trust gas station sushi more than a Browns fourth quarter.
We draft hope, we develop stress.
They sign quarterbacks like we're speed dating.
What do? I throw interceptions under pressure. Welcome to Cleveland.
Every year we say, this roster is different.
And every year the Browns say, the outcome is not.
Being a Browns fan is just explaining context to people who don't care.
No, you don't understand. If the left guard was healthy and Mercury was in retrograde.
We're not rebuilding, we're just rearranging the pain.
But you know what? I'll be back next week.
Of course you will.
Because I'm sick.
Because we're sick.
Because this is Cleveland.
And this is Flavor File with Rich and Nick.
Cue the music before we say something we can't take back.
Run this off. Run this off. Yeah. Hey, Cleveland roots with a reckless style. Takes no bold to the flagrant foul. Abs on the ice, Notre Dame pride. Wrestling talk pop culture ride from Rich to Nate. It's full court wild. Sit back, press play. It's flagrant foul. Yeah. It's flagrant foul.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 23 of Flagrant Foul. Got a big episode today, a little Brown season recap. Having the boys on here shortly. Rich, how was your weekend first?
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Caught a little abs yesterday. You know, they're still a juggernaut. They had half the Eagles playing on the roster, and they just kind of embarrassed Columbus. So it was good seeing them in person. Boy, they're fast. But yeah, it was good. How about you? How was the weekend? Looks like you had Kale come in. We hit up Tiffin.
Yep, Gail came to town. We went to Tiffin together, saw the other old roommates, and it was nice. Did some hijinks, drank lots of beer, did a couple bars. But yeah, it was good. I'm pretty tired. We were up till like 5 a.m. last night, so I'm
Sweet.
exhausted.
Any wrestling matches break out?
Some Oklahoma drills between Claude and Yob. Yob got truck sticked into the coffee table. So that was pretty awesome. The coffee table's full of drinks and food and just stuff all over it. I've never seen a piece of furniture be cleared that quickly. Like, Yob got hit, and then everything flew off the table. It was incredible.
It was like Meech and Josh, like, you guys not allowed back at our house again.
They honestly were not as upset as I thought they were going to be, because it was like the carpet was wet.
Oh,
But yeah, they weren't that upset. I did feel bad, but we tried to clean up as best as possible.
Nice. Well, Nate mentioned it. This is going to be our season in review. So we're going to talk, our expectations going into the year, how it went, our discuss with some players, our excitement for some surprises, maybe get into some offseason and preliminary trade talk, or not trade, draft talk. So, I know we got Big D and Egger coming on. HBJ may grace us with his presence, so we'll see. But before that, I had some thought while I was at the Avs game the other day, because I was, as I was walking up to my seats, there was some guys just like sitting in seats, and the people that were going up the steps in front of me were like, these are my seats. And, I get the whole, what? Oh, they clearly knew they weren't in their seats. They get up, they move to another one. Happens again. Happens like a third time. So I just want to kind of talk about this sitting in the wrong seats. What are your thoughts on that? I feel like I kind of have two schools of thought on this. I feel like, I have bought some bad seats, and then the game started and, the team's doing bad, particularly the Browns, and you see seats that are just sitting vacant during the course of the game. So, you'll kind of slide down or make your way down. You do that at the guards, things like that. But what are your thoughts on just like, I'm just rolling up to the game and I'm just sitting wherever I want and then doing the whole, oh, let me see your tickets. Oh, and acting surprised while this family, because like when the families come with their kids, like they're sitting in their exact seats. So they're rolling up. So I don't know. It's kind of, I know you and I have had that happen, the Cavs game, and then the guy that's just sort of like, there's other seats available. It's like, dude, don't be a dick. Move. These are our seats. I don't know. It annoys me. You got any thoughts on this subject?
Yeah, that just happened to us when we went to the Monsters game on
Yeah.
this past Saturday. Well, not this past, last Saturday, so a week ago. Regardless, it happened. I was expecting the Rocket Arena to be packed for a Monsters game, so we go to our seats, and there's this freaking dumb family sitting in our seats. So whatever, like you said, I'll move seats if something's been empty the entire game. I'll move up, so I'm not gonna be upset if someone else is doing the same thing. But it is like frustrating because we sat a couple seats down because we couldn't sit in our own seats, and then those people showed up and we're like, yeah, we are in the wrong seats. Apologize. That dumb idiot over there is in our seats.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna make a scene initially, but then if the seat I moved to is getting taken by the rightful owners, then I'm gonna go over there and punch you in the face to get you out of my seat. So
Yeah, that's annoying. I think like that, like because you decided to sit in the wrong seat, you like make me look like the bad guy, sat in some other seats. So that's annoying. Like I don't begrudge if somebody wants to. I guess if they're sitting there and they see you coming, they're like, "Oh, I just sitting here," and they pop up and move. Like whatever, no harm, no foul. But I don't like that move, where they make you sit somewhere else and then you got to look like a scrub because some family rolls up with the right ticket. And I don't like the whole one where it's like we all have seats in the same aisle, but you want to like scooch over certain seats and then just expect somebody else to sit in like another 2-seat type of thing. It's like, go sit in your seats. Like, I get that in some circumstances it's not a big deal and whatever, but like, can we just not cause this controversy? Like, just sit. You bought a ticket, it's got a number on it, just sit there. So
they also, on top of that, like, we're sitting in the nosebleeds for the Monsters game. Like, if you're gonna move seats, go sit somewhere like good. My seats aren't any better than the rest of the seats in the 300 section. So that bothers me. Also, like, if you're gonna move seats, like, you gotta wait into the game to see what seats are available. Don't just like show up before the game even starts and just you're in the wrong seat and you just sit in it anyways.
Yeah.
That makes me more mad.
No, I think there's definitely like a seat switch etiquette, and that is, be there for like a quarter or a half or, 3 or 4 innings, whatever the sport you're in, then make the adjustment or make the move. And then you got to factor in the shitness of the team. So like if the team's terrible and there's a bunch of seats open early, like you could probably move down a little earlier because quite honestly, people aren't showing up for the game. But yeah, it's interesting. Well, speaking of moving seats and not sitting in your seats and getting lost and everything else, we have our first guest just popped into the room. Someone let him in. We've talked about him multiple times. He's a bit of a myth, a legend. This guy is like basically Bruce Lee meets Bigfoot, meets a unicorn, meets like the world's most interesting man. He's a character. So I am, for one, super excited to have him in. He has not surfaced since his infamous Rumpelmans incident a couple months back at the Ravens game. So without further ado, let's get this guy in here. There he is, first one in. Egg. What's up, guy? All good?
Not
Can
much.
you hear us?
Good to see you.
No? Yeah, good
Yeah,
to
actually,
see you too.
I can hear you very clear. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sound good. We have to put a face to a name because you've become a bit of folklore around here. So we got to prove to the people you do indeed exist there.
Yeah,
But
I do.
well, cool.
I do. I'm not sure if I'm what everyone expected. We'll see.
Nice. Well, I know our boy Dave will be out here in a minute. He's fighting his antivirus. Wouldn't be a Flagrant Foul podcast if we didn't have technical difficulties per usual. So Hyatt, maybe you can give us a little intro. Let's hear your Browns allegiance background, how you know us, all that good stuff.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I was born in Ohio. Yeah. I was born in Toledo and then moved to right outside Cleveland when I was like 2. So been a Browns fan ever since I can remember. My dad used to have the old antenna on top of the roof to get the out of state games, the ones that weren't on TV. So we got those. Huge fan of those teams, especially when we got to the Kozar years. Um, as far as you, Rich, met you in school, obviously, all through high school and before, but mostly high school and continue on till now. But yeah, those Kozar years, I mean, he was my guy. I played football, I played quarterback, I wore number 19. My nickname was Kozar until it, well, I guess it was Egg, but down here, when I moved down here, it was Kozar. My friends in Georgia called me Kozar. I'm a big Bernie Kosar fan, number 19, like I said. But yeah, high school, my nickname was Egg, as you guys know.
Nice.
But yeah, I lived through all the heartache of the Browns. I still have all my all the old paraphernalia. I got old posters. I got a cassette tape of all the songs, if you remember those, Bernie and Super Bowl and
Yep.
all those every time they made the playoffs, it was like you had to sit by radio and get ready to press record when it came on. Yeah, there's some good songs came through those years, but lived through the drive, the fumble. I remember crying when Byner fumbled.
Oh
Yeah,
God, that's heartache. Speaking of
just a
songs, do you
brief
remember
history.
Super Bowl
Yeah,
Stumble? You remember Super Bowl Stumble? That was like,
stumble.
I'm gonna guess that was like 81, 82. That was when like Sipe, I think, was still leading the team. I remember doing that with like
Red
3 other
88.
guys.
Yeah.
I did that as a like first or second grade like talent show. We lip sync some Super Bowl stumbles. So
Oh wow.
you
I
know,
don't know if I remember that
yeah,
one.
that's
I
pretty
remember
sweet.
most of the ones they did during the Bernie and of course you also had the 12 Days of Christmas one with the Browns.
Yeah,
That was an old one,
good stuff.
but yeah.
I think you're underselling, the real claim to fame and how we know each other is just the elite level running of the ALHS scout team offense.
Definitely,
He
yeah. So there's some good times there. Yeah. With the gloves and the tights on the uniform, yeah. Doing those scout team routes. I didn't have much time to throw, but when I did, I could always count on you to be there. Yeah. Those are some good
My
offenses, even though
favorite,
I never saw the actual field.
the best part about that is they wrote all the plays on those like laminated cards because I couldn't remember the play calls to save my life ever. In fact, like I want to say when they made me play guard when I was a freshman and I couldn't remember like any of the plays if I had to pull or do anything, like whenever Coach Petty sent in a receiver with the play, they would like say the play and then like, Rich, you're supposed to do this or do that because he knew I had no clue what I was doing out there. So bad. My 98
That's
pounds
crazy
guard,
that you played
elite,
guard.
yeah, elite guard / nose tackle, which is pretty sweet. So,
Yeah, I remember, I think sophomore year on JV, I played like kind of like tight end, but I was on the line. It was like Seth Houston, which was probably the largest human in our school. He was like the big tackle. JV, it was like him and then 110-pound me. And I'll be looking over like, what do I do? Trying to block people. We throw all those guys out JV, but yeah. As we got older, we got more tuned into our natural quarterback receiver positions. Yeah.
oh, for sure. Hold up. We got Dave's trying to get in. Let me see if I can troubleshoot this quickly.
I didn't really give my background on how I know Nate, though. But obviously, as your kid, I've known Nate since he was born. I remember him at our house down in Georgia when he was a baby. Yeah. Him and Clara, yeah.
All right, and we're back. We got over our technical difficulties. The Putin and his cohorts tried to hijack our podcast, so never fear, we figured it out. So good job, Dave. You missed the Hyatt just gave a very extensive background of his Browns fandom. And a little behind the scenes glimpse into some ALHS scout team offense.
If there was a Avon Lake High School Scout Team Hall of Fame, we would all be members of it. Absolutely, 100%. Fortunately, I was able to see the three of you guys, but I wasn't able to get in on the link. But yeah, so I'm pretty caught up. So we can go right into the next.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on, guys. I know we wanted to get together and commiserate over this shitty Brown season that we just had. So, real quickly, I'm just going to ask the three of you. I want to say, I want one word to describe this season, and then I want to know what your breaking point was this year. So, Nate, go for it.
I'm just gonna say buns, and I don't know. Probably Andre Schmidt missed field goal versus the Bengals just about set the tone for the entire season.
That's fair. That's fair.
Pretty early on, but I mean, it didn't get any better. So
Okay. How about Dave? What do you got?
My word would be AIDS, because this was just a bunch of actual AIDS. And the breaking point for me was to see some actual signs of life by our young quarterback Shador against the Titans, and our elite otherworldly defense was unable to get like 2 stops in a row against the absolute dog shit offense that was the Tennessee Titans.
Ugh, yeah, that was brutal. Chris, how about you?
As far as a word, like standard. It was the standard Cleveland Brown season, unfortunately. My breaking point is probably when Gabriel went in and kind of was hoping for some good quarterback play, and we all saw how crappy he was, and I think that was heartbreaking to see that he was a wasted pick, and the season was downhill from. Well, it was already downhill, but more downhill from there.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, for me, I don't know. I'm keep going between two. Either compassion, which I had for the lowly Browns all year, or composure, which, another word to describe myself throughout the course of this year. So between those two, I would say my breaking point, I'm with you, Chris. Watching Gabriel go in was like, it's just like when we're just not a team to just go like, we know better. So like, we go in the draft and you take that guy at 3, and then it's like, you hear all the things, he's too small and all this crap. And it's like, no, but we know better. And then he comes into the game and he's like ultra conservative. He's getting the balls batted down. It's like, can we just shut the fuck up with that now? Like, listen, we want prototypical quarterbacks. We're not taking flyers on guy. I feel the same way about this coaching search. Like, I'm not trying to like find the next up and coming right now. Like, that's for teams that's just for good organizations, not our shitty organization. But yeah, super, super frustrating.
I think you see a lot of things that the Browns operate like they are already a good team. And it's something you say, and it's like, we're a good team, so we make these picks. Take, for example, Aiden's favorite player, Mason Graham, drafting a defensive tackle at 5 when your team is ass every other spot except for defensive end, right? That's the kind of move that you make when you're a defensive tackle away from a big run. And these guys there, I don't know if it's Barry or Haslett, they've been like, I love Dylan Gabriel when he went to UCF. I also knew that he was 5'9", right? But he might be able to make some things. Probably not going to be in Cleveland. He could probably be a little turf guy. He could be a Chase Daniels, be a backup quarterback. But and that could have been what? Xavier Watts or a host of other fantastic picks. Or we could have picked Shador in the 3rd round, and he kind of played like a 3rd round guy. We'll probably get to that later, but it's just they act like they're like the hubris around every pick and every selection is like, well, you should trust us. No, you should fuck off and let somebody else go. Like we've been trusting you for a minute and you've been ass, right?
That's a good point.
So I don't know. It's just irritating.
It's like, when you saw Jimmy, was that last week when he was, get in front of the meeting and the media and was like, we hear you, we appreciate, we want to hear the fans, and, it's not good enough. It's like, yeah, we're not falling for this where you try to say all the right things. Like, it's shit. We've been saying it's shit. You're going to do whatever you want. You're trying to get everybody excited about your stadium and sell personal seat licenses. Like, I don't want to hear any more talk. Just say like, we suck and We need to figure this out and move on. Stop with all the talk that you're like, we're going to, we're committed and going to make this a perennial competitive team. How about we just be like an average at best team? How about we just not like sit there and worry about going like, 1-16 every year and shit like that? Like it's so frustrating to me. And I'll tell you what's crazy with that I've noticed with the Browns are the 2 years that we've had some success, no hype. The second that there's any hype, we cannot handle it and we completely fall to shit. Yeah, it's super frustrating. What are your thoughts on injuries? It seems like we bitch every year about the injury bug, and it's like we're not the only team that goes into the year and ends up with injuries that can't like figure it out and sustain. Is that like a case of the Watson contract on top of the fact that we can't get like players at every position, we just can't get depth to get through injuries? I mean, I don't know. What do you think it is? And why is it seems to be like we have our entire offensive line is made of glass, as is our secondary?
The offensive line has really been an irritant for the last couple of years. And I'm not a big Dorsey guy, right? But he did leave the cabinet. The offensive line was pretty stocked, right? And then now we have, who do we get? That Zinter, who he literally turns to glass when he gets in a stadium, right? He's literally the dude from Unbreakable, the Sam Jackson character. And he, I got an argument 2 games in the second to last game against Pittsburgh. He had 8 snaps, and that was his career high, or for the year. And I'm like, dude, they put him at center, and then he fell apart, and he sucked.
Yeah.
Like he do a little pass blocking, but he's terrible. But like we should have a pipeline of, we had a bunch of Pro Bowlers on every spot at the line, and we should be filling them up then. But it's like, I don't know. Again, it goes back to the hubris of the people running the team. They're like, we're doing it the right way. They keep grabbing, these non-premium positions. Yes, this draft was great, but you know what? I think Barry made a plan to say, I want people who can contribute so I can escape the chopping block for one more year. Right. And so now he's going to study. He knows, I assume he thinks he knows we need offensive lineman and receiver. So he's going to hit it hard and he's going to swoop in and be like, oh, this is all part of the plan. In reality, he's GMing for his life, right? Because he's sucked 5 of the 6 years, right? The Deshaun Watson move, it's a swing for the fences move, right? I don't like the person who they drafted. I don't like that we lost all those picks, but if you have a chance to grab, if you're a playoff team who has a chance to go for a top quarterback, you got to go for it, right? Now we're end up in this monstrous contract, but I can accept the move, but I can't accept the garbage afterwards. Like, and then using that, oh, we're handcuffed. I'm like, but handcuffed to get a guy who can field a punt return, but we're not. We could still, he's still on the press conferences talking about the salary cap isn't an issue for me. So it's like there's this duality where he's like, I can't do anything, but he could still act like a prick at press conferences and act like he knows what he's doing.
I just, that whole, the Watson thing is crazy to me in that, like, so, you have Baker, he comes in the end of his rookie year and he looks like the guy. And then, we go to the playoffs and then he's very apparently is hurt. And somebody at some point should have said, we're shutting you down. But regardless, if you have questions about him, like we had less questions about him and at least saw him sort of do it than we do about our quarterback situation the last couple of years. And then you go out on a limb to go grab Watson, which that was going to cause controversy. Like you still had Baker there. You knew he wasn't going to take that well, right? And then you're going to go get a guy that like can't stop getting his wellness touched in massage parlors, and you thought that was going to go over well. Like, it's just like, it's such a shit organization move to make.
Yeah.
I don't know. Chris, whose fault is the Watson? Is it Barry? Is it Jimmy? Is it Depot? I don't know that we'll know, but guesses?
Yeah. I got to figure it's Jimmy. I got to figure it's coming from ownership, but I don't know. It's still one of the biggest mysteries in sports, how he fell off from being all pro to garbage. Even with the couple years off, it shouldn't be this bad. I don't know what I've seen that on other news news stories or podcasts and things about talking about how that's just a mystery, how he has become such an awful quarterback. I mean, if we were getting the Watson from a couple years ago or from the Houston days, he was a really great quarterback, and I
Yeah.
think we can all agree with that. So hopefully he can come back and contribute. And him and Sanders, I think, would be a good 1-2 combination. But yeah, I gotta figure is Haslam that pushed that deal. And like Dave said, when you have a chance to go all in on someone that good, that at least that we thought was that good, you gotta do it, even though it turned out awful. And I hate
Yeah.
the fact that we ran Baker out of town, but we saw the second half of this year. The first half, we thought he was, the second coming to Joe Montana, and then he fell off, and that team fell off, and now it's like, okay, maybe he wasn't going to be the answer here, but I
Yeah.
don't know.
We definitely pissed some people off with that pick. And like I think the other part of that is just knowing that he was headed for suspension. Like, I don't know. That's a head scratcher to me. It's just it definitely plays into right now, right? So we don't know who necessarily call that is. We think it's Jimmy's. Seems like Dylan was Stefanski's guy. Shadur was AB's guy is what it's sounding like. And I'm not a Stefanski guy, but at the end of the day, when it all didn't play out, Stefanski got cut, AB's safe, but everybody's culpable. It's just, again, a lot of things we can, we're trying to question to make sense, and it just goes back to shit organization has a lot to do with it. So, Dave, I'm going to
Well,
get your
what's going to
opinion on
happen
this.
is real
Go
quick, though,
ahead.
Stefanski will probably
Yeah.
land a job, a trade for Gabriel, and then Gabriel will be like all world.
Please.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, it'll be our luck that happens. But yeah, I don't know. I want to get Dave's take last on this one because I know he has some different thoughts for potentially this group with regards going into next year. Nate, are you cool with? I won't surprise me at all if we take a developmental quarterback somewhere in this draft. I can't see the Dylan stays, but that doesn't mean that I don't think that if the right offer came through and who knows what they're thinking, they trade Shadur. But what do you think, and what do you want to do next year with the quarterback situation? Are you good with Watson and Shadur?
Yeah, I think Dylan Gabriel needs to get shipped off to Indonesia. And then, like, the thing that bothers me is, like, Deshaun and Shador, they're not perfect, they're not amazing, they're not a top 5 quarterback, but we don't need that. We just need somebody that can, like, just be serviceable. Um, so I think riding with both of them, like, either one of them is gonna be good enough for what they need. Um, I don't really feel like there's a reason to go grab a 3rd guy. Just
Yeah.
add more attention. Like, we saw the drama in training camp with who's getting the reps this day and who's going to be the starter. And then everybody was disappeared. And that was like a total waste. Kenny Pickett got all these first team reps and then he's gone. It doesn't play. Joe Flacco gets traded. Like, I think that give Shadur and Deshaun a chance to, like, have a quarterback battle, both give them first team reps, have a real offseason together instead of bringing in 26 quarterbacks to fight for the spot.
Yeah, and I think, I know Chris, you just mentioned you're sort of along those lines of Shadur and Watson. I think, though, the thing so if they bring another guy in my mind, Shadur is gone. You're not going to have a 3-way quarterback competition. I don't think there's enough reps to give everybody a fair shake. They can't afford to get rid of Watson. So if they make the decision that they feel like they need to go outside, I think he's the guy that ends up being the odd man out. That's my personal opinion. What do you think, Dave? I know who you want.
So a lot of it, and this is kind of why I don't like this goes about the hubris of the organization is now we have, if you're a coaching candidate, a head coaching candidate, you're going to want to bring your guy in, right? But you go to an interview with the Cleveland Browns and they're like, well, we got Deshaun Watson, who's an oft injured quarterback with a huge cap hit. We've got Dylan Gabriel, who is a supercomputer, right? He's a game manager who is afraid to throw downfield. And then you got Shador, who, he played for the most part, he played like a 5th round rookie last year. He had some good balls. He was very good with escapability. He kind of improved, until those last 2 games. And then he just kind of, I was really hoping that he would make a big jump with those 2 against Pittsburgh and especially against Cincinnati. And I know that he didn't have anyone to throw to, but he just didn't make the jump that I was hoping he would see. And, for you to bring in a candidate, they're going to want to bring in at least one quarterback they like. They're not going to take this murderer's row of subpar Cleveland quarterbacks and say, I'm good, I'm going to run with this. But to echo with what you guys were saying, right? And I said it every week in the game chat, right? If we can get middle of the road quarterback play, this team goes into the playoffs, right? If we can address the line, we can get someone to throw to. We get average, 225 on really and luck.
At this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and I think that might be limiting, and I think that's why I think we're going to miss out on some of the larger head coaching candidates because the Giants have Dart, and the Titans have Ward. If you have a quarterback, you may be a little more desirable. And we're not going to be in a position to get a quarterback with our 6th pick in the draft, which I'm fine with. But it also like a team that's anybody that is affiliated with Green Bay or has some, adjacency to Green Bay, whether that's like the Ram staff. I definitely think Malik Willis is an option. I think he's probably going to get, just due to the quarterback overvalue, he's probably going to get close to $30 million a year by some team. It's probably not going to be us. We could probably do about 20, but someone's going to offer him a lot of money. Hopefully he does well. He's not super tall, but he can run a 4.4. He's got a rocket arm. He's got about 3 or 4 years of solid experience in F with some really good coaching. I don't think he's going to be ours, but again, we might be looking at the Marcus Mariota type veteran quarterback, but I don't think we're keeping one of the 2 quarterbacks. I don't really care who it is. I kind of like Shador. I think that Dylan appeals to coaches who are risk averse because he plays like a giant machine, right? He's very conservative, very much. I think he's going to go wherever Kevin goes. I hope Kevin gets the Baltimore job, and I hope he takes Dylan with him. But again, it's on that.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's a viable option. That makes a lot of sense. I just, it's so hard to focus on one position. We have so many things, so many needs, and you're right. I think we're already number 8 in line with open coaching positions right now. I
still think we're above the Cardinals because they have a cheap owner, and they are in that NFC West, which is a murderer's row. You're going to be the 4th team regardless. You can be 9-8, and you're going to be the 4th team. You've got the Rams.
What do you guys?
Go ahead.
Finish. I was just gonna say, what do you guys think about Harbaugh? I know I saw something that he's supposed to be spending the weekend watching Jackson Dart Cam Ward tape, which interesting way to spend the weekend. But they were prepared to take him in the Shador in the 5th round. But then he said he didn't want to back up Lamar. So I don't know, like if he comes to Cleveland, is he cool with Shador? Because it sounds like they wanted him.
I think, and this is where this is where the advantage over like a team like Houston, or not Houston, but Arizona is, and it's probably going to be more if you get Haslam in the same room with Harbaugh, Haslam's ability to make a deal and throw money at you and close you and get you fired up. I don't think that can be discounted. I think that's probably how he ended up with Deshaun. I think he got in a room. He thought he was close. He thought Atlanta was offering more, and he's like, let's do whatever it takes to get this guy. I think if you get him in a room with Harbaugh, who has some connections to the Cleveland Browns, right? It's well documented that his family grew up, they were Browns fans. He lives from Ohio. He's very familiar with the dynamic in Cleveland, right? And he would get the opportunity to play Baltimore twice a year. So, and he is that kind of CEO type of top tier coach, which I think would be great. I think if we get the opportunity to talk with him in person, I think Haslam will close him. I think he may want a team with the only thing is if the dark horse would be if Green Bay fires LaFleur. I think Harbaugh would be perfect over there, and I think they would do everything they can to go there, and I think that would be a little bit better spot for him personally. But I just, you can't discount, as much as I was just talking about the Browns brass. I would not discount Jimmy Haslam and an opportunity to close somebody where he could throw money at them and get them fired up to partner up with him.
Him wanting to, if the reports are true, wanting to pick the GM or at least have a hand in it. I mean, how do you get around that? Money? I mean, I guess that
Ownership.
Okay. Or he goes in and says, "Get AB out of here."
Yeah, that'd be awesome too.
He just gets a left field firing. That would be awesome.
And if that's a hard line stance, so that was actually, I saw Joe Banner actually on Twitter. He disputed that because it came from Tony Grossi, who has a little less connections to the NFL than my Labradoodle. So therein lies the rub, right? Never discount the appeal of a Labradoodle in the NFL circles, but yeah, Grossi's garbage.
Between him and Mary Kay, and yet Mary Kay has more credibility than Grossi.
Absolute worst.
The two of them are so bad.
But yeah, that if he has to pick his own GM, then obviously we're going to be out of the way. Again, I wouldn't discount Haslam to say, Harry, you're promoted. Welcome to the president of the Browns. Let's get a GM that Harbaugh likes. Yeah. Simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's ways around it. Yeah.
Well, hey, real quick here, because Hayden didn't make it, I want to take a minute to go around where we can heap as much praise on our favorite rookie, Mason Graham. Just a class human being coming from a class Michigan program.
Absolutely.
Just what an upgrade to the defense. He was amazing. I don't know what games that Hayden was watching, but definitely, could we have picked other people at that slot? Yes. Is he probably the best player in the last draft? Yeah, I'm going to say yes because Hayden's not on. Eddie, thoughts? No one echoes that.
He's definitely a player in the draft.
He's what?
He's definitely a player in the draft.
He was a player in the draft, yeah. Well, he was part of the defensive line, and Garrett got the sack record, so I think I'll give him credit there.
Yeah.
What's good is that I think we may keep this same tier. So in reality, and this is good for Hayden because the Browns drafted in the first round, they drafted a guy that actually absolutely pulverized and terrorized Ohio State, right? In Mason Graham. Are they going to do that again by drafting that brutal offensive tackle from Miami that people in Columbus still have PTSD about from last week? That's a good chance. He is definitely our favorite at 6 in the way too early mock.
Okay. Yeah.
Would you take would you take a lineman over the receiver at 6? Is that where you're leaning?
I don't know. I think the tackles position is not great in this draft. I think that the receiver, I think we're going to have a good shot to get Tate with the 23rd pick.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's going to fall down. I think other people are going to bump up. But it's still early. Nobody knows we'll see. We'll see what.
I just think that first round, I just think if we come away with a tackle and receiver 6 at 23, then I think that you're right. I think we have to tackle has to be first. I think if the top tackle's there,
a guy like that, like that kid from Miami who has just been so hilarious and fun to watch on tape because he's so brutal. And Rich and I have been talking about, we want these guys from the Pacific Islands, and they're just tattooed and brutal, and they just put people around and they bully people. And this is literally that guy, and he could literally change the culture of the entire team from being soft ass cucks on offense to the real hard chargers. And I'm for it.
Does he have a wrestling background? I know you guys.
I mean, it looks like he's had a pretty solid wrestling background on the field. He's pushing these guys around, and I love to see it. So
where's he from? Do you know?
You guys talk among yourself. I'll look it up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
what I agree with you.
Receiver, free agent.
The Jags lost? That's cemented 23, right? So it is 6 and 23 now, right?
I think it might be 24. If did the Patriots win? Or have they played yet?
They're playing.
Is tonight?
They're playing right now.
Tomorrow is.
Or tonight.
They're the late game, I think.
I think it would be the
Houston,
23 or
Pittsburgh's
24
tomorrow.
I'm not sure.
Okay. I agree with you. If we can get a tackle and a receiver with those first 2 picks, then obviously we got to go back to receiver, bolster. As Dave mentioned, we want to draft literally all of the characters from Moana, and then maybe come back with some secondary guys later on. That's
born in American Samoa, and then he went to IMG football factory in
Nice.
in Sarasota, Bradenton.
Okay. Well, that fits the bill.
Yeah.
I like it. Nice. Any other draft surprises? I know we'll be here before you think about it. I mean, any chance we trade down from 6? I just don't know. I guess we'll have to see how those first 5 picks go. I could be open to it. You know?
Also, don't forget about the Hasselman obsession with the Manning family and the ability to put him in a position to trade up to draft Arch next year. If we can get another first round by dropping from maybe 6 to 13, we could still get a lineman a lineman and a receiver in the first round. Then we get another first round for next year. And then next year, we could probably give up those 2 picks plus the 28, and then we could get Arch, and it won't hurt as poorly as like the Deshaun Watson 3 picks every year.
Mm-hmm.
But that's my tinfoil hat conspiracy theory stuff popping out.
Okay. Well, going back to the season, I wanted to do your this one should be fairly easy because we had a pretty polarizing team. So I want you to give me 2 people. Who's your certified dog? Who's your replaceable human? We sort of did this last week, so I know which way Nate's going to go here. What do you got, Nate?
Replaceable.
Well, Devin Bush, dog. There's a couple on the
There's too many to choose from.
part. I think I'm gonna go different than I said last week. About done with Gage Larvadan. No, he's a young guy, but brother cannot catch. And when he does, it's like he is so slow. I watch other teams return punts, kicks, and it's like they catch the ball, they shoot out of a cannon. Not Gage. He's like trying to break the speed walk record. I don't know. He is so slow. So Gage can peace out.
All right, Chris, dog or replaceable human? Who do you got?
I think Fannon's my dog. I think he's going to continue to be a good one. That was a great pick. There's a couple guys that in the defensive backfield that can go. I'm not sure which one to pick. you guys can pick one. Pick one for me. My earbud fell out.
Hickman.
What's that?
Hickman, yeah.
Hickman can go to the bench. He can go to
Yes.
He doesn't need to get off
gone.
the team, but he can go to the bench.
Yeah. Dave, what do you got?
Man, Devin Bush really had a great year. I will make my dog will be his co-pilot, the probably defensive rookie of the year, Carson Schlesinger. That dude, and I know I just talked shit about grabbing these guys that are non-premium positions, but he's just so good. We got to make some jerseys available. I tried to buy some over Christmas for my boy's birthday, the 7th, and nothing was happening. Unless you had to go over to the land of the rising sun, and that's not happening. But my get the GTFO could be which one of these? I will say the entire offensive line. They can all get fucked. Joel Bitonio can stay. Joel Bitonio is a legend. He had a down year, and he could stay if he wants. But all 5 of them can get gone, man. They're all terrible.
All right, I'm gonna go. In a short time, he's already started to carve out his legendary status. Backup tight end Sal Cannella. Scratch that. We're gonna go. They saw enough in him that they signed him to a reserve futures deal. I didn't see that, but no, I'm going Tyson Campbell, man. I'm like. That dude is just like my comfort level with him over there covering. Didn't mean that he didn't get burned here and there, but just like consistently locked down. He played awesome. And then we're so gun shy on these guys. Like we see one of our secondary get hurt and be like, well, they're done for the game. Dude comes back in last game of the year. Like it just says a lot. The dude's a dog. As far as can get out of here, Jerome Ford, I don't want to see you in a Browns uniform again. Get out. Your attitude, your running style, pretty much everything about you. I want you gone. So those are my 2. Well, before we get too farther, I do want to address probably could have been the worst point of the year. You look at some of the losses and the bad quarterback play and some of the shit that went on. And quite honestly, my standout moment was the fact that Chris Hyatt, aka Egg, had to drink a fifth of Rumpelmans just to get himself the courage to go into that Ravens game, and we almost lost him. I mean, it was a terrifying moment. But Chris, we've gotten multiple vantage points on this one. No one could quite confirm your location until Dave put eyes on you. What happened? Was it the music? Was it the free booze? What was it?
It was the free booze, definitely. I was just like, okay, I'm good. I won't have to get anything in the stadium. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I'm going to ride this all the way to the game. And then, I don't know, you guys were all gone. I think you and Nate went ahead, and then Dave stayed behind a little bit or something. So me and my friend Dan, we were somehow walking into the game alone. And I don't remember. I don't remember getting in the stadium. I remember being in the stadium and walking in the corridor, or whatever you call it. And I don't know why he didn't take me to my seat. That's still a question I ask. Like, why didn't he take me to my seat?
So did you not go to your actual
sit down
seat? Because we were like, okay, let's go to the Bud Light porch because we had some spread out tickets, so we'll rendezvous there. He called me so many times, and I was like, we're at the Bud Light porch. Where are you guys? We're at the Bud Light porch. All right, we're coming. Where are you guys? We're at the Bud Light porch. We're coming. And then you never showed up.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he'd have to answer.
South.
Yeah, I remember being on the ground. Like, I remember falling, and yeah, next thing I know, I'm wake up in the hotel, and Dave came back from that dinner or that late grab of food, whatever. He game's over. I was at where I can't remember where he went. And I'm like, what's going on?
I remember
I looked
at one
back,
point,
and I don't know if I fell in the parking lot or what. I just don't know. All I know is that I did something to my hip because my hip is still hurting. Like, something must have, when I fell, I did something. So that's still hurting. And then B, amazingly, I felt fine. When I woke up the next day, I wasn't hungover or anything. I was like,
did you puke?
It was very, very strange.
Did you throw up?
I never threw up.
That's crazy.
No, I never threw up. I didn't feel bad the next day. I don't know if it's because it was so early. It felt like it was midnight, but I think it was like 5.
All I know is Dave told me at one point, you were making out with your pillow, and he told you to knock it off, and then you just said, "Well, you won't make out with me," and then I don't know what happened after that. I fabricated that whole story just so our listeners are clear, but it sounds like something that could have happened. You're getting one of those kid leashes next time.
For sure. So, so the St. Bernard boys left so they would get kickoff, and then Hyatt and Dan left, and then I left afterwards because I was with my friend at the Barley house, right? My buddy Justin. And so I get there and I go to the seats, right? Everyone else, it's a Browns game, so no one's on time, right? And so I'm waiting in line to get into the stadium. I go up to 513 or wherever the shit original tickets are. No one's there. So I start making my way down. I get with Rich. I'm like, where are you guys at? He's like, at the Bud Light section, which is roughly 3-something, right? The 300s right in the middle.
Yeah.
And then so I'm like, I grab a beer on the way down. I'm taking the spiral staircase. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to see how far I can get in. And I went down to the third row dog pound because no one gave a shit. Right. And so I'm watching the game down here. And then, by then we start hearing, Rich is like, have you heard from Chris? I'm like, nope. I get a call from your friend Dan. You guys are outside of the stadium. And Dan's like, hey, come pick this dude up. He is out of his mind. So I text Rich. I'm like, I gotta go pick him up and bring him home. And, he was just like, I don't know what's happening. What's going on? He was all like, and we end up, we got the reservation we got. Apparently there's 2 shithole, sleepaway, hotels by the same name a mile away from each other in Great Northern.
I do remember that.
And we were at the wrong one, and I was very irritated. And I told the person who may be Al Qaeda, the employee, that I didn't appreciate it. And then we went to the correct hotel, got our spot, and Chris went to put Chris to bed. And then I met my buddy Justin back out at the old B-Dubs right down the street.
B-Dubs. What was it, 6? It was not late.
Chris was asleep by 7:15 p.m. Sunday night.
Yeah.
It was Brutal. Well,
you guys told me
missed
so much happened. I mean, you're like, yeah, Shador played, and I thought you were just messing with my head. You're like, Gabriel's out, and everything that we wanted to happen happened except for the victory. And I'm like, what? I missed all this.
And
but then,
you also seen the game was something we wanted to see as well, but that wasn't able to happen.
Yeah,
because
we won the week after.
You wanted to be like Christopher Reeve after a horse riding incident crippled.
Well, you missed Nate sitting on top of me. You're just pinning me down because I was doing fine in the game. And then I much like Cinderella, I started turning into a pumpkin. Like the clock ran out. Nate, literally as we ran from the stadium and Claire picked us up, then me and Nate just sort of went from we're fine to being belligerent and annoying. It's like, Claire, we're going to Taco Bell now. So, but we timed that out perfectly. I don't know whose bright idea it was. I do remember your buddy Justin was like, just take that stuff with you because he's like, it's just going to get thrown out. So I'm like, I don't even like seltzers. So we're just trying to chug seltzers that are in our pockets and shit. I'm like, they're throwing them out at the garbage cans as we pass. One of Nate's former teammates just generated out of thin air in front of us. It's just so bizarre. It was everything about it was crazy.
Fever dream.
I did forget. I also said Justin's friends from his coworkers did make a remark about Chris at the meeting on Monday or Tuesday about how they would love to drink with him again because he knows how to party.
Oh yeah. Chris, you do have a tell. Yeah. Here it is. You were literally you looked at me and there was a look in your eye and you started going like this. I was like,
and I had a couple beers at that point.
Dude's losing it.
It was those girls that brought the Rumplemans and vodka. And next thing I know, like I said, I was just like, I was trying to get a good buzz so I didn't have to buy anything at the game. And next thing I know, it's over.
I was like, I'll do one shot and then I'll do 2 shots and then I'm done. And then meanwall, Chris
those is liquor. Well, the liquor hit the table and he just looked at me and he was like, who's paying for that? Is that just for us? Is that free? He just started pouring stuff and it got ugly. It got ugly, but it was great.
Yeah.
Free
alcohol and me don't mix.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
It was fun and stuff, but I did feel bad because I really wanted to enjoy the game with you guys, so I did feel bad about that.
I think if I would have been, I think Dan was the buffer because if I would have known you if you would attach yourself to me, I would have been able to manage you a little bit better, and then probably not find you in a parking lot.
I mean, I can't walk very well.
The Winter Soldier.
Yeah. I mean, with my brain issues, I can't walk very well sober. So come and put drinks in me, and I can't.
You actually walk better when
alcohol just hits me harder than it used to be, and I just don't keep that in mind. And it's like can't blame.
I for one enjoyed you turning into Teen Wolf. It was it was sweet. And then we just got worried about you. It's whatever.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the last few minutes we have
podcasting.
Oh, it definitely does. This thing's got some lag times. We need to discuss what's happening this year. I have no interest in sleeping in the despicable city that is Pittsburgh. But as Nate toyed with, we could go to Cleveland and just drive over for the first round and then go back to Cleveland and party for a night. That might be fun. The first round's really just the round to go to. And the other cool part about that, depending on what's going on in Cleveland, they typically get the first rounders in Cleveland to go to events. So I wouldn't close the door to it. Tickets look cheap, so we can see. But, parting shots, I want to see. Give me for the draft. Go to the draft, but just first round.
Oh, for the draft. Okay.
It would be good if we got 2 picks.
It'd be fun, man.
Gotcha.
So the NFL uses that as a big advertisement, so it's pretty free. So one last one. Give me an unrealistic dream and a realistic expectation for next year. Chris, I'm starting with you.
Unrealistic.
We better all have the same unrealistic dream.
Yeah, all the same. It's 12-5, win the division, playoffs, Super Bowl, the whole shebang. Realistically, I'm hoping. I think 9. I think 9 wins, and hopefully that can squeeze us in the division title and make the playoffs. That's what realistically hoping 9 wins. It's still a long shot, but I think if we get the right piece in the draft, we can get there.
Yeah. I don't know. Dave, what do you think?
They're both the same. Realistically and long shot is at 17-0 Super Bowl. But our schedule's is pretty awesome. It's pretty nice. So it's you can get a coach who can get the ball rolling early, and we can get a team where we address the OL. We get some people who can catch the ball, receiver. You get some actual people who aren't dog shit at special teams. I mean, the defense is there. We got a whole bunch of talking to go about who's going to what, but it's a wiffle ball to get it's a nice softball to get some momentum on a coach's first year with the Browns. You know what I mean? So definitely think Super Bowl's in the picture though, 100%. I've already booked tickets.
Nader?
Yeah, I was gonna say 20-0 Super Bowl. But honestly, realistically, and Shedeur MVP. But realistically, I'm feeling like 10, 11, 12 wins next year. Maybe squeak out the division. Probably not get like the 5th or 6th seed in the playoffs. I seriously think that could happen.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, look, Super Bowl every year. That's our expectations. And the second that becomes a future bet on whatever platform you use, you need to put money on it. Because the year when it actually happens, you're going to win money if you bet that early. But I would say, for me, realistic, I just want to challenge for the division. That doesn't even mean that because our division's probably going to be the champ gets in, and who knows if the wild card even comes out of the North. I just want to be in it to the last 2 weeks with a chance playing competitive football. So, we'll see what happens. It's frustrating. Another year has passed, but we got to turn the page because this is definitely our time of the year where we're all we can start talking shit to people yet again. So we will see. Well, thanks, boys, for coming on. I appreciate it. Been a long time coming. We'll do another one of these. Think about the Pittsburgh game, or the draft, I should say. I think that's could be feasible.
No.
We go in Thursday, go to the draft, maybe spend Friday jackassing around Cleveland. We'll get you a walker.
Yeah.
Just in case. We won't plan to do shots, but if they come out for free, I'm not going to.
I was going to say, no, Justin. Don't let him know.
Yeah, we're not gonna look. You're not gonna look a gift Rumpelmans in the mouth, right? Yeah. So we got to make sure that we make some concessions in case that were to happen.
Depends who's drinking with me. Depends if those girls are still there. No.
You'd be like, you know what? We need to get you a Cyber Hyatt T-shirt made for the draft if that happens.
Perhaps we can talk into Boston Brewer about building you an exoskeleton to help walk, like how they have for Iron Man. When they know that you're going to start drinking, you can just put yourself in the suit and still able to do shots. You can do this and go.
That'd be rough.
What does he call that system? What does Tony Stark call that whole system? I know you know.
Jarvis,
yeah. Hyatt will be like, pour him a shot and be like, Jarvis, suit, takes a shot, just boom. Iron Man.
And just to clarify, I only know that because I'm a good dad and I watch these movies with my kids.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
100%.
For sure. I didn't question it. Well, sweet. We'll take her easy, boys. Thanks for coming on. We'll be talking soon.
Later.
Peace out. All right. Well, thanks, fellas, for coming on. It's been a long time coming. I know we had high expectations for the year, and as per usual, didn't come out as we thought. So it was good having them on. Put a bow on this season. We're going to turn the page and look towards next year. But Nate, these games this weekend has been a great weekend of football. The CFP games were all really good, minus the Indiana game. And quite honestly, the games today have been pretty good. That Jacksonville Bills game was actually really fun. There was some. Did you watch any of that?
Not really. I just saw that it was pretty close.
Dude, there was such a bullshit call right before half where they spiked it, but it clearly time expired, but they reviewed it and said that the snap was actually made, but then it 100% didn't, but he ended up missing it anyway. But this Eagles-San Fran game looks pretty good. I think Houston's going to frickin' boat race Pittsburgh tomorrow, but we'll see. So anyway, well, that's all I got. Next week we'll be back. We'll do our touch base on CFP and the NFL playoffs, and definitely be spending some time on draft talk here over the next couple months. But we're going to turn the page and really start focusing on the Avs here for the next month or so. Those of you that aren't hockey fans, you're missing out. And those of you that like hockey that don't have a team, you need to be watching the Colorado Avalanche because they are something right now. May legit. This is, I can go over the top. This is not hyperbole. They may be the greatest NHL team ever assembled. They are so deep, so fast, so good, so skilled. It's the best, maybe arguably the best defenseman in the history of the NHL. Definitely one of the top 100 forwards in the history of the NHL right now. And honestly, the goaltending depth is unbelievable. We'll see. We'll do some talk. We'll be getting ready for the Olympics. Although I don't know if you heard this whole debacle about the ice for the Olympics. So now the scuttlebutt is they may not have that ice ready in time, which could
They
be
had
real
a
interesting.
scrimmage yesterday or the day before, and I guess a giant hole showed up in the middle of the ice.
I feel like that should be that challenging. Like what? I don't know.
Real quick, I don't know if you saw, I sent it to you. I think it happened yesterday, but something to keep an eye on. Marcus Freeman's son, Vinny Freeman, at a wrestling tournament, got into it with a coach. For Marcus Freeman's being accused of physical altercation. Notre Dame, I sent this to you. Notre Dame's statement, Vinny Freeman, head coach Marcus Freeman's son, was verbally accosted, right, during and after his wrestling match by a local wrestling coach. Marcus and Joanna Freeman intervened and removed Vinny from the situation. At no point did Coach Freeman physically engage with anyone. We believe that the police report, which includes video evidence, fully exonerates Coach Freeman and makes clear these accusations are totally unfounded. So something to keep an eye on.
He's a class act. I believe him. We'll get in, but people will say some stuff, make up some BS, but I'm glad, Mom and Pop Bear, I've been there. I'm definitely stepping in. So that's what happens. Wrestling season, we're into kind of the, this is where people starting to put teams together and peak. We haven't really talked a whole lot about this, but Jax Forrest, he had talked about, there was some speculation early in the year, but he definitely is foregoing the rest of his senior year. He is at Okie State. I got to think he's going to get in the lineup. He could be a viable option at 33. I mean, he's in the talk as a top 3 guy. So would be kind of unprecedented. He's had a very unorthodox career where he's been like kind of groundbreaking and done some things a different way. So why should this be any different? I think it's cool to see him aspiring to put himself in the deep end constantly. He's got a good attitude, a good head about, about his shoulders, does things the right way. So it's exciting. I'm going to be pulling for him. But yeah, Berg back in action. I think they were at Adrian. This was their first or second competition of the new year. I think it was the second.
I think it's first.
It was the first guy. So,
I
and you know what
thought
I'm
so.
thinking about? Is this the normal Adrian? Because this is late, isn't it? Didn't that tournament typically in November?
They were already in Adrian earlier in the year.
Were
This
they?
is the second time, I think.
Sweet. Did you get any updates? Anybody take home any crowns or hardware yesterday for the boys?
Nobody won. Just a couple people, nobody got first. A couple people got third. So there was some D1 guys, Michigan State, people there.
Cool.
That sound like a pretty good tournament. Yeah.
Good. Well, good luck to Berg. Good luck to Coach. Hopefully they start peaking at the right time. They get some guys to nationals, so that'll be exciting. I'm going to let Nate looks plumb tuckered out. I know he did a 3:30 night and followed it up with a 5 o'clock night. The boys in town, so you look like you're fixing for dinner and bedtime.
Yep, I'm exhausted.
Yeah. Yep. Well, cool. Well, everybody, we'll catch y'all next week. Thanks for joining the show. Thanks again to our boys, Big Dave and our boy Egg. Great to have them on. Thanks for sucking it up and recording today, Nader. And we'll catch y'all next week. Stay classy, Cleveland. Peace out.
Come back, beat kicks in, crowd noise, whistle blows.